All right, here we go. Here we go. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh Shai, Shabbat Shalom to the family that's in the house, man. If you don't know where you're at, if you've been around and you know what I'm putting down, if you have been not, don't get too close because you might get shot. It's your brother IQAhmath. I acquire first name. IQ is all the same. Don't shoot the messenger is what you were tuned into. Many of y'all know what time it is. Prayerfully, everybody's doing well. No music today. We just going right in with the information, man. I want to salute the family that's in the house, man. Come on in, wipe your feet. Come on in and wipe them feet. Okay. Let me turn this banner off because we have started. All right. All right. Yes, there we go. All praises. All praises, man. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing all right? Lord willing, that this transmission to disrupt the system finds you well. Another transmission to disrupt the system. All right. Shabbat Shalom to Hashemai in the house. Uziel, Shalom, Koaf in the house, Shalom, Ashar, Aladad. Anybody and everybody else is just now getting your notifications, slowly but surely tuning in, tapping in. Come on in. What you waiting on? What you scared of? Are you one of them black folks that got bamboozled? Praying over your God? Modern day Pharaoh? You see the thumbnail? You know, I bet you now it's a lot of Negroes running around here. They already got regrets, buyer's remorse, right? But when I seen that thumbnail earlier today, and I was just like, I wonder how them people are feeling now that, you know, they've been getting laid off. They dropping dead from getting poked in the arm from after he did the Operation Warp Speed to try to stop the vid from, you know, spreading. We know and are hearing now that he's on a rampage with the Smithsonian and trying to discredit, distort, and even destroy the history of our slavery. And those are one of the principal tenets that we stand on according to prophecy with these scriptures to help us identify who we are as a people, right? So if this guy is saying, hey, you guys are putting too much on slavery, it wasn't that bad. Hey, we were victims of slavery too, chattel slavery, the Arabs, you ain't the only victims. You know, too much is being made of this. We're going to talk about all that because he done stabbed a lot of you Negroes in the back who were looking for some sympathy and a shoulder to cry on when it came down to him saying he was going to do so much for you. Hispanics, you already know you done got kicked straight up your rectum. After you made them votes, Hispanics for Trump, Latinos for Trump and all that, after you did that, man, he put that swift boot right up your butt cheeks. Kicked you up out of here, literally and figuratively. ICE raids jumping off still. Troops on the streets. We're talking about the essences and the precursors of martial law being displayed right in front of us right now. You know, we talked about what's going on over there in D.C. It's expanding now to Chicago. They got 19 other states that got that are militarizing the National Guard to hit them streets. Oh yeah, he's making good on all of his promises that he never told you about. All the things that he had his hand behind his back, fingers crossed, and all that other foolishness, smiling in your face. We're seeing all those things going down. What else we got on deck? Want to update about that the peace talks and the war? You sure? You sure you want that? Because for those who've been praying for peace and those who've been dying for a breakthrough for Agent Orange to get a Nobel Peace Prize to bring peace on Earth, it ain't happening. Things ain't go too well after that meeting with Trump, and then also with Trump and Putin. And then afterwards, he met with Zelensky and other EU leaders. Didn't go too well. Didn't go too well. Well, we've been saying it. Besides me, the scripture said it. As y'all know, last week we covered the scripture. There is no peace to the wicked. So we're going to talk about that. He's actually expanding wars. It's actually getting worse. It's actually getting worse. Can you believe that? Hopefully you do. All right. If you haven't done, as my beloved sister over here, Denise, has said, that she's wiped her feet. If you haven't done that, shame on you. You know the rules. Do an about face, walk out the door, come back in, wipe them feet, man. Okay. I'm over here hard working, cooking up for y'all. You know the routine. I prepped everything before the Sabbath. Everything's hot and ready, man. Come on, sit down and eat. All you got to do is wipe your feet. Okay. Let the algorithms know that we're interested in the content over here. We have no shame in our game. We like what we're watching, and we want to let others know. So that's what you do when you hit the thumbs up. All right. That's what I ask. It's free. You ain't got to worry about it. It ain't gonna hurt you too much to just do this with your phone. You know what I'm saying? That's all you got to do. All right. Appreciate you, Sister Denise. Everybody else is tuning in. Shalom to y'all. Come on in. The water's fine. All right. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Jace get all hesitant, man. You see, black folks got bamboozled. I might be one of them. I don't want to go in there and get convicted. No, come on in. You need to learn too. All of my brothers and sisters that's walking in this faith, I ain't talking to you. There are people out there who watch these videos. They don't say nothing. They watch, they listen, they take their little notes, they sit back, they straddle the fence, they don't know what they want to do. They like to hear the current events and get it and go. But no, you got to do a little bit more than that. Let's get a few scriptures and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let's start here. Turn that up. And let's start as Zephaniah. Because as we see the tables turning, man, and the clock getting more closer to 12. You know they got that doomsday clock right now. We talk about as the clock gets closer to 12, man, destruction's gonna happen. It's damn near 12:59 in 30 seconds. You know where we're at with this whole thing, right? And just looking at just how the spirit of the Most High moves, Zephaniah 1 lets us know how the Lord's Spirit moves in all facets. Verse 14, it says, the great day of Yahweh is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. He said, even the mighty man is going to be crying in these days, man. Don't be fooled, man. I'm not no big old tough guy that doesn't have a fear of what's going to coming down the pipeline. The only thing that's holding me up is my faith and my belief in these scriptures that if I continue doing what the Lord told me to do, he's going to be good on his word and take care of me and mine. You understand what I'm saying? That's all we got to deal with. Other than that, utter hell is going to be coming down on this place globally, but in particularly Babylon is really going to get it. So even the strongest, toughest, most well-trained, Lord said that mighty man is going to be crying there bitterly as well, right? That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distresses upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Can you imagine? Blood being poured out as dust. When you can just blow dust off your hands, shake it off, dust gets to flowing in the wind, man. You can't see so much going on. You blow it and easily it's just flying all over the place. That's the dust, right? Flesh as dung. Stinking bodies all over the place, man. But look at 18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath. Yeah, because finance, you can't finance your way out of this. It's not a payment that you can make. It's not that, matter of fact, because that's what ends up happening. Sometimes, what's that in Acts? I believe it's Acts 8. Let me see if that's the one where Acts 8 might be 9, where Philip, I believe, had the spirit on him, and the man said that they wanted to pay. They was asking him, how much is it for the power of the Holy Spirit? Paul, let me see. Give me 1 second, y'all. I gotta remember this one. know it's an 8 or 9, I believe. Might be wrong on that one. It just popped in my head in the spirit. Give me 1 second. If somebody remembers it, throw your brother a lifeline. It's in Acts. Man, I might have to get my actual Bible out. I get stuck on something until I find it. What? No, yeah, it was Philip. Acts 8. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. I knew it was 8. All right. I found it. All praise. Okay. So let's start at we'll start at 14. It says, now when the apostles which were at Jerusalem heard that Samaria had received the word of the Most High, they sent unto them Peter and John, who when they were come down, prayed for them that they might receive the Holy Spirit. For as yet he was fallen upon none of them, only they were baptized in the name of Mashiach Yahushua. Then laid their hands on them, and they received the Holy Spirit. And when Simon saw that through the laying and when Simon saw that through laying on of the apostles' hands the Holy Spirit was given, he offered money, saying, give me also this power, that on whomsoever I lay hands, he may receive the Holy Spirit. But Peter said unto him, thy money perish with thee, because thou hast thought that the gift of the Most High may be purchased with money. I go through all of that because what is it being said in Zephaniah 1? It says, neither shall that silver nor their gold be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath. There's going to be those who's going to think that they can pay their way. We see it all the time. If you've been in the churches, you've been in those crack houses, you've seen people try to pay their way into salvation, pay their way into favor with the leadership, pay their way into favor with the deacon boards and whatever else. Their attendance or lack thereof is made up when they come in and drop a little bag on the church. They get exalted, they get acknowledged. There was a video some years back of the since now passed away Eddie Long, and when he had his scandal go down with him and some of the young men that was in his congregation, it slowed up the bread for him, and he had a service. I remember. I don't know if anybody else seen this. He had a service that he had that was supposed to be the reopening of the relaunching of the church, and interestingly enough, it was during I don't think it was he calculated it correctly, but he basically was talking about first fruits. And he was acknowledging that, this is the relaunch of the church and the first fruits and this, that, and the third, right? And he was talking about the funding that's needed. And some anonymous woman stands up, shades on, looked like she had a wig on. I mean, like she's undercover. Walks up and gives him a stack of money, like, the little rappers be having with their little money phones and all that. Gave him a stack of money. And Eddie Long says, oh, praise the Lord. Hey, this is the first fruits. This is where we're going to start. First fruits. Like, come on, man. How do you accept some money like that? And it's clear that this was like a setup to try to bait everybody else into emptying their pockets to give to you. You don't know where that money came from. The money, the scriptures even tell you in the law that you're not to accept the price of a whore in your congregation of your money. In other words, you're not supposed to accept blood money. You're not supposed to accept money if it came from prostitution. You don't know. He don't know where that money came from, but hey, this is the first fruits. Hey, no. And you're going to have those who think that their money is going to be able to deliver them in them days. Let it be found that you, me, or somebody else is of the elect, and that the Spirit of the Lord is with you, and your household is being protected. Your household is being guided by the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding and the Holy Spirit. Don't think that they ain't going to try to bribe their way in. Hey, we need to come with you. We repent. How much is it going to cost? I'll buy you this. I'll buy you that. I'll make sure you got this. Just take me with you. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It's not for sale. It's not for sale. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. So, the Most High is not playing when it comes down to his judgments and where we're at in particular. Jeremiah 30:7, the famous scripture. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Who's the he? Jacob, his descendants, the Jacobites, the Israelites. We're going to be saved out of these conditions. The 12 tribes scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, those whose forefathers are the descendants of the indigenous tribes here and are scattered through the curses of slavery. The Lord said that there's a lot prepared for an elect number of us to get up out of it. A remnant. Not everybody's going to make it. 2/3, the Lord says, has got to be cut off and die. But those who commit themselves to the righteousness of the Lord, the faith of Christ, and the keeping of the commandments, that's essential as well. That is essential as well. Okay? Because sometimes, those in the church, man, they get it twisted. They thinking we don't believe in Christ. We don't know. We absolutely do. Are you crazy? It's essential. Revelation 14:12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Christ. See, it ain't just about faith. The Lord said, what? Faith without works is dead. It's not just but trust and believe, have the faith, and you're good to go. Plead the blood of Jesus. No. You got to do something else. Actions come along with that. And this is only the patience that's been given to and allotted for the saints. Many of us should know about the saints of the Most High and who they are. But if not, let's look at Psalms 149. And 148, is it? And 14. So mind you, in context, you say, here's the patience of the saints. Who are these saints that have to have particular patience, and what do they need to be doing? It said, keeping the commandments of the Most High and have the faith of Christ. But these particular saints are defined according to the Bible. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints. Even the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye Yahweh. So the saints are the children of Israel. So when we're reading in Revelation 14:12, he's saying that the children of Israel are allotted this particular form of grace and mercy which is that patience, if we can keep the commandments and the faith of Christ, right? This is how we're going to get delivered out of these particular troubles. What's Jacob's trouble? We're talking about utter affliction and oppression of our peoples. You're seeing the writing on the wall right now with the militarization of the police. We've been talking about it for years on end. The police states, checkpoints, the market of beasts coming, and the beast system, the AI takeover, technological advancements that's going to, push people into states of oppression regarding job losses, medical oppressions with plagues and pestilences, war coming onto the forefront, persecutions for your beliefs, right? Persecutions for your drug testing. I mean, for your dress code. We're seeing even now profiling is now legal when it comes down to the quote unquote immigration laws. You can just have a look. You look like you're suspicious. You look like you don't speak English. You look like you're someone who's anti-government or seditious. You're out of here. You can be detained, disappeared. I got an article and a video coming up later. Remember the brother, the 10 tribe brother, Northern Kingdom cat, that had got he was one of the first quote unquote legal I don't know if he was a migrant or not, but he was a citizen out of DC or was it Maryland, got arrested. They shipped him off to El Salvador. He stayed over there for a couple months, living in hell. They let him go, brought him back over here, brought him up on charges of trafficking illegals. How they did that, they showed some video of him with illegal in his car. Who knows if he even knew the guy was illegal? We don't know what's going on, man. They set this dude up. They got him now. He refused a plea deal. They about to ship him to Uganda. Now, can you imagine? What business does that do? I don't know if he's Central American or if he was a so-called Mexican. I don't recall where his origins are from. I think he was from Central America, though. But they about to ship him to Uganda, of all places. Yeah, you remember Trump has opened up the doors. I think he got 5 different countries that said, "Come on, bring them on over here. We'll take care of them." El Salvador is too packed now. Now they shipping them to elsewhere, multiple countries in Africa. They about to send him over there. That's part of being in quote unquote Jacob's trouble, right? And these are all the things that we're talking about: mass persecution, death, turmoil, famine, plague, um, detainees, FEMA camps, all of that stuff, right? Now, continuing on, it says, "For it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh, the power of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, but they shall serve Yahweh their power and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them." So we're going to be delivered from our bondages. We're going to be delivered from the bondages, not only the mental shackles, but the physical shackles. We're going to be delivered out of this, out of said oppressions that's coming down the pipeline. I mean, we're thinking like, it's rough now. This is just the press, the precursor to where and how bad they wanted to get. But the Lord said, we're going to burst the bonds, take the yoke off of our necks, and we're going to go serve the Most High under David, our King, which is speaking about Christ because he sits on the throne of David and comes from the bloodline of David, right? Therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahweh. Neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. See, this is why we got to be circumspect of the scriptures, because one thing that, and I know many of y'all know this, but might be some that don't. Isaiah 28 tells us how to read the Bible. Verse 9, right? Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So let's try to simplify that a little bit, because it's clear that there's got to be a reasoning of how we understand the Bible. So who is going to be able to be taught this knowledge, and who's going to be able to understand the doctrine that comes along with it, right? Many of our people, we got Bibles, we read it front to back. I seen somebody had acknowledged to me that they had read the Bible. It took them 4 months to read it front to back. I'm like, okay, did you find out who you were? Did you read it? Did you read? All kind of stuff gets missing in translation. You thinking it's like a regular book or a novel. You get the history, you get a little understanding, but you miss things like eschatology, which is the prophecies and things like that. It can't be read that way, right? It says, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? So the understanding comes about of it. The Lord also said that with all our getting, get understanding. And the Lord said he can't give wisdom or knowledge to anybody that doesn't fear him, let alone doesn't keep the commandments. We'll get that in a second. But let's look at it in a little simpler translation, NLT. It says, who does the Lord think we are? They ask. Why does he speak to us like this? Are we little children just recently weaned? No, that's not a good one. To whom will he teach knowledge? Okay, so let's look at the ESV. So it says, to whom will he teach knowledge, And to whom will he explain the message? Those who are weaned from the milk, those taken from the breast. So, in other words, even Christ said that we have to come to him as little children, right? He acknowledges us as the children of Israel. We got to come to him at an infantile state, right? Even so, if we're looking at Hebrews 5, uh, is it Hebrews? Yeah, I think it's Hebrews 5 and 12. Oops. To attain and get to the knowledge of the Most High, right? We have to come as babes. You can't come in with your doctorate. You can't come in with your whatever particular degrees you may have or whatnot. That really makes no difference at all. Because the Most High said that He's going to give us teachers according to His heart. That's going to teach us knowledge and understanding. Before we get there, let me get that too, because sometimes our people get caught up in looking at doctorates and degrees and so forth and so on, and that don't mean jack squat to the Most High, because how knowledge is received goes according to Him. Jeremiah 3:15 says, "And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding." The Lord said He's going to give us pastors or teachers according to His heart, His thinking, who He selects, who He elects. And their job is to feed the flock with knowledge and understanding. Our people got nothing but religion, money making, hustling, scamming. We're not getting knowledge and understanding. We're getting college degrees. We're out here, getting record deals. That's not knowledge and that's not understanding. That's what we're supposed to be giving our people, not religion. Not supposed to be giving our people gospel and choir songs all day. Where's the knowledge and the understanding in that? The Lord said, if you're going to sing with the understanding. So there's no problem with doing music or having it as a form of gospel and teaching, but make sure there's understanding behind it. Not just we want to make something to make the crowd move or shake. Just forget about what you're saying. No, can't move like that. Back to Hebrews 5. It says, for the time you ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. And so, of course, when you first coming in, you got to be as a babe, man. You got to take that milk. A lot of our people, you want to hit the ground running, especially in the Israelite community, man. Brothers be watching and binge watching YouTube videos of people, brothers out on the streets teaching, and some sit down lessons, and then you're taking your precepts, you're writing them down, and you go back binge watching YouTube, and that's like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get out there. You got no experience. You never handled the sword before. You're running out there like chickens with your heads cut off. No organization, no discipline, no nothing. And then you get out there and thinking that that's what it's about. And, some brothers is getting shamed out there in the streets when they get challenged with the word. Slow down. Slow down. The Lord said, get the milk, because what? A newborn baby, man, you can't start feeding them steak right away, right? No, you got to receive the milk. Get the milk, build up your strength, build up the bones, build up the brain. And then you can start filtering into the muscle work. You can start building off of the fats and things like that, right? Verse 13, for everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongs to them that are full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. And that's what it's about. The building of your discernment, being able to build up your repertoire of knowledge and understanding, prophecy, more importantly, repentance and the loss. That's what we really got to be building on, right? So getting back into Isaiah 28, let me get back over there. I know I'm bouncing around, y'all. Just move with me in the spirit, because that's how I'm moving right now. Isaiah 28, verse 9. Again, it says, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So there comes a maturity after, one who is weaned from the milk, meaning you're off the milk now and drawn from the breast. So one that's being weaned from milk, being, fed off of the milk and drawing what? The knowledge, getting their wisdom, getting their understanding from the breast. So babes, this is going to receive the knowledge, doctrine. Many of us, come in, you learn about who you are. Trust me, I had no idea. I don't even think I owned the Bible when the word was given unto me. through the spirit and power of the Most High, White Habashai. I ain't even on the Bible, man. This was not the path I thought I was going to be on. But it is what it is. And I never neglect my calling, and I have no regrets at all. But I came in as a babe and had to learn and continue learning and building until I was able to eat, chew meat, and now, I'm on the grill cooking, right? That's how it goes. But here's the important part that I was trying to bring out regarding Jeremiah 30. We're going to go back to that in a minute. It says, now, for precept must be upon precept. A precept is a scripture of instruction or of understanding. So we got to put a precept upon another one and precept upon another one, right? Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So when we put it all together, it's like a puzzle. One precept with another precept, understanding flourishes from that. The mysteries are being solved. The prophecies are being understood. We have to read detailed on these lines. You can't just stumble in and ramble words off and thinking we're understanding things. Many of us coming from backgrounds you might not have done too well in school or whatever the case may be. You don't understand particular words. Hey, don't half step. Take out a damn dictionary. And nowadays you ain't even got to. You can just go online and ask AI or whoever, what's this mean? What's that mean? You're going to get a full. Today's knowledge, man, people are so damn spoiled, man. I always say, man, it's the crystal ball, man. Talk to her, wipe the screen. It's going to give you whatever you want. There's no reason why our people should be lacking access to information and knowledge, right? So when it's going line upon line, here a little, there a little, I may have to read a little bit here in Isaiah, double back and get further understanding of what was being quoted of in Acts or, in Mark per se. You know what I'm saying? Like Mark 7, when it says, what hath Esaias prophesied of you hypocrites? This people honors me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Well, that's precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. Mark is quoting there a little in Mark, but what's he quoting from? Here a little in Isaiah 28. That's what he's doing. So that's how that works. All right, but it says line upon line, so we got to read detail upon line. So Jeremiah 30. In 10, it says, therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahweh. Neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar. Who's he talking about? Israel is going to be saved from afar. Why from afar? Because we're not in our homeland. We've been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. A vast majority of us are here in modern day Babylon in the Western Hemisphere, modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, modern day Egypt. It carries all the monikers and all the spirits of the past kingdoms before it, right? We're going to be saved from here. That lets us know that the people that's living over there can't be the people because they're claiming that they're already over there and have been there since 1948. Whatever. That's not what the scriptures say. I will save thee from afar, and what thy seed from the land of their captivity. See, this is where the Christians go wrong because they don't believe that there is an ethnic hierarchy or there's going to be an ethnic form of salvation for our people, right? It ain't about the bloodline. It ain't about the flesh. It ain't about, I can't tell. Why are we mentioning the seed? Why is the Lord trying to preserve the bloodline and the seed line, the heritage, the stock of our people, these 12 tribes of Israel from the land of their captivity? You dang right it does matter who you are. You know, a lot of times people say, well, it don't matter who you are. We're all God's children. No, we're not all God's children. God said his children are the children of Israel. We have a name, identity, right? It ain't just anybody. Do we all come from, quote unquote, the blood of Adam? The scriptures say that, yes, but it also says that out of all of them, one seed was chosen, one nation was chosen, and that's what counts. I'll save thee from far and thy seed from the land of the captivity. See, the average person, they might just read through that and not even trip about that word. That's a heavy word, 4 letters, heavy as hell. Because that indicates that it is going to be based upon who you are. Your bloodline and who you are does matter. Your seed line does matter. As much as this place likes to throw out confusion. Hey, you're mixed, you're mulatto. I don't know who I am. I'm a mutt. No. Well, what's the Bible? The Bible said we go off the seed of the Father. Your father's this, then you're that. You understand? Very simple. We don't have to, try to confuse nothing and make. That's their job, right? This is why we're in the land called Babylon or Babal, meaning confusion. But the Lord made it clear. He said, He's going to say, "Walk thee from the land of our captivity, and Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid." That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for, right? Let me get one more in Psalms, and then we'll get to some of these. Oops. There goes spelling Psalms wrong again. Psalm 103. And this time around, we're going to read down. Let me just read the whole thing real quick, just for inspiration and spirit. Keep everybody encouraged, because I know it sounds like, oh, everything's bad, all bad, all bad. No, but guess what? We stay balanced and we see how the Most High is going to look out for his people as well. Psalms 103. Let's read one and we're going to read down. Bless Yahweh, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless Yahweh, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. Who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases. So these are things that we see that the Most High is going to be able to do for us. Forgiving iniquities and healing diseases, right? Who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercy. You see that? Redeemeth thy life from destruction. Who redeemeth thy life from destruction. Do you see that? We know and see imminent destruction is coming upon the land. The Lord said that we can be redeemed from it. Who satisfied thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles. The Lord executeth righteousness and judgment for all that are oppressed. Did you see? This is powerful. The Lord executed righteousness and judgment for all that are oppressed. So there is a silver lining. There is hope. There is a faith that we have to incorporate within our walk. Because if you don't believe this, you can forget about it. We should be praying for execution of righteous judgment for all that are oppressed, man. If we've been oppressed, man, and you say, well, how am I oppressed? Listen, man, if you waking up under an alarm clock every morning, having to go serve your enemy. He said, "Ain't my enemy, man. Bob is my cool. That's my cool boss." Wake up, man. Wake up. You come from a heritage of kings, queens, righteous rulers, so forth and so on, right? We wasn't made to be put into a position to where here we are serving our enemy. Why we call him our enemy? Because the Lord called him our enemies. He said it in Deuteronomy 28:48. He said, "Therefore thou shalt thou serve thy enemies in want of all things." I didn't say it. He said it. He had to define it for me, right? And we're going to see later on, because it goes back into Sirach 12:10, where the Lord said, "Never trust thy enemy." That's why I use that thumbnail today, because you see all them black folks, man, sitting back there, hands on the shoulders and praying for, the head demon in charge, right? But at the same time, he mess around, stab him in the back, and saying that your black history is being overhyped and there's too much wokeness going on, and I don't like it. And matter of fact, I'm about to put some police and military on the streets to round your black butts up along with your Hispanic brothers, and get all of y'all up out of here and make America white again. That's really what's going down. So when the Lord said he's going to execute righteousness and judgment for all that are oppressed, you got to say, well, how am I oppressed? Well, if you are at the subjection of an alarm clock waking you up to make sure that you're on the road to get to work on time or deal with the consequences, to go there and work 8, 9, 10, 12-hour days, to come back home beaten, dead, tired, to only wake up and do it over and over again. It's like Groundhog's Day. You ever seen that movie, man? He constantly waking up and repeating his life all over and again. That's what we living in, man. Groundhog's Day. There's Here goes your next movie or show. Uh, I always give you one. I try to at least every episode. The Lazarus Project is on Netflix. Uh, long story short, there's a little bit of a technology and a serum that allows people to remember their memories. There's a particular little special agency that knows how to rewind the clock back when destructions happen, and it's their job to try to stop the destruction before the earth gets destroyed. I'll leave it at that. So they are always trying to stop the destruction of the world by rewinding time, and then they have to constantly replay these things over and over again if they fail. But the Lazarus Project, check that out if you haven't. If you've seen it, throw 7 in the chat if you agree that it's a good show. But that's on Netflix, right? But that's what we're doing. We're oppressed because you get hit with that damn alarm clock. You're waking up. You got to go to work. You get beat down. Come back home. Wake up. Do the same thing again, over and over again. And then you wait for 2 weeks. Some of you may wait a week. Some people get paid once a month for that money to come into your account. And what do you got to do? You got to give it all back. You're giving it all back. Credit cards, car notes, mortgage, rent, insurance, food, water. And if you got anything left over for a little entertainment, you're going to give it right back to the system, and you go right back at it again. That's being oppressed, right? There's no freedom in that. Oh yeah, you got plenty of freedom. You can go around, do what you want to do. I can't leave the country without a passport. When COVID was jumping off, there was checkpoints and curfews and lockdowns here, there, and 6 feet. You couldn't do nothing, couldn't walk nowhere unless you had a mask on. What? We're free? Oh, I can't tell. When when who was it? I think it was Martin made the expression DWB, driving while black. I mean, that's real. You can translate it to driving while brown, getting profiled, getting locked up, set up. I mean, scriptures tell us that our men are hid away in prison houses. Well, who's the ones who's majority locked down in the penitentiaries and in the jail? Over 70% is nothing but blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, probably more than that. So the Lord said, man, execute righteousness and judgment for all that are oppressed. He made known his ways unto Moses, his acts unto the children of Israel. He didn't make it known to everybody. There's an elect chosen people that the Lord said his ways are going to be known to Moses. Moses is going to teach that to his people, the children of Israel. Yahweh is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and plenteous in mercy. He will not always chide, neither will he keep his anger forever. He have not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities. For as the heaven is high above the earth, so great is his mercy towards them that fear him. That's important. If we fear the Most High, that's why I always sign off and I say, always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, right? Because there's another one where in Psalms 110, 111 and 10. Psalm 111 and 10. You see here? The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endure forever. So you won't get any understanding until you come into the commandments of the Lord. Wisdom won't be imparted into you until you fear the Most High. And that means moving in subjection. How do you fear the Most High? Because when you read the commandments, you understand about the laws, you know what to do, what not to do, and you don't do the things you're forbidden because you fear the Most High and his judgments. That's why our people run around here so lawless and disobedient and rebellious and wilding out, because they don't have a knowledge about the laws, the do's and the don'ts. Some do. Some have a clear understanding and know they're doing wrong and still do it. That rebellious heart, that rebellious mind, that stiff-necked nature is going to be cut out of our people. But the Lord said the fear of him is the beginning of wisdom, right? Now, continuing on in this prayer for the mercies and the endurance of the Most High and the deliverance. Uh, Verse 11 again is for as the heaven is high above the earth, so great is his mercy toward them that fear him. As far as the east is from the west, so far he removed our transgressions from us. Like as a father pitieth his children, so Yahweh pitieth them that fear him. For he knoweth our frame, he remembereth that we are dust. As for man, his days are as grass, as a flower of the field, so he flourisheth. For the wind passeth over it, and it is gone, and the place thereof shall know it no more. But the mercy of Yahweh is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him, and righteousness unto his children's children. How many times have we been reading about fearing the Most High? He thrives on that, man. It relishes in us having respect and honor and a fear of him. And in doing so, he extends his grace, his mercy. He said, unto his children's children, your ability to fear the Most High can actually help and protect your children and their children. Because what? If you teach them the same principles, it will be a trickle down effect. That's how we get righteousness within our nation. And that's also in Proverbs, I believe it's 14:34. Yeah, see that? Proverbs 14:34 says, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. You know how people want to know, you want answers, man. What are we going to do? How are we going to get out of this, man? I'm sick of this. Look, the Bible gave us the answer. Righteousness exalts our nation. That's what's going to bring us up and above and out of our conditions. Righteousness. And the laws, according to Deuteronomy 6:25, it shall be our righteousness if we do the commandments of the Most High. That it's simple. Commit ourselves to fearing the Most High and doing what we're told, and he'll exalt us. He'll lift us up and put all others beneath us as it was supposed to be from the beginning. But sin is a reproach to any people. Sin will destroy anybody, from the Lord's people down to the heathen. Doesn't matter. All right. Verse 18, to such as keep his covenant, and to those that remember his commandments to do them. Hello? Remember to do his commandments. Keep. That's why he said put them fringes on. Because I know my stiff-necked people, man, we constantly need reminders. We got selective memory. We try to, slip, slide around, trying to figure and finagle and, finesse our way into not doing what we're supposed to do. No, the Lord said, no, if you remember, matter of fact, I ain't even giving you no options. Put these fringes on your clothes so that you can remember as a reminder to keep the commandments. When you get dressed every day, that's supposed to remind you, I'm in the laws of the Lord. To keep as his covenant, right? Verse 19, Yahweh hath prepared his throne in the heavens, and his kingdom ruleth over all. Blessed the Most High Yahweh, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. See, even the commandments are subject to the angels as well. Everybody stays in line. The scriptures even tell you, man, the tides of the ocean don't break their ranks with the Lord. The celestial being, the planets, the stars, everything stays in this particular alignment. Don't nothing move. They faithfully keep their orbits. They faithfully stay in place, right? That ocean tide, man, don't go no further. Me and Rasha, we were talking about that a couple months back. We was over in Malibu conducting a wedding with Ratazan, and we was looking at that ocean, man, and that ocean water was tempting to move up higher and closer, but it kept going back. And I remember Rasha made the analogy of the way that the ocean moves back. It's like it's sliding backwards in a bowing motion, which was deep, because when you do look at it, it rushes up, but it eventually bows down and goes back. And that's how the Most High puts everything in subjection, right? So say even the angels that excel in strength do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. Bless ye Yahweh, all ye his hosts, ye ministers of his that do his pleasure. Bless the Most High Yahweh, all his works in all places of his dominion. Bless Yahweh, O my soul. So I just wanted to send that spiritual inspiration, man, reading of these Psalms and keeping our people in a mind frame of not getting so caught up in the stressors of what's going on in life and what's to come down the pipeline and is coming down the pipeline. Stay inspired. Continue moving in the fear of the Most High, the wisdom, because we're still going to be healed. We're still going to be redeemed. We still got a chance to be saved by the Most High's grace and mercies and His love and kindness. But at the same time, we got to do the work, though. And many of us may not, even though we commit ourselves to it, some got to be martyred, some got to be made examples. That's how it goes. I mean, look at all the disciples was persecuted, killed, tortured, jailed for their beliefs, beat down in the streets. All of those things still was part of the testimony, right? So it ain't like, hey, you just gonna walk through, ain't nothing gonna touch you. No, it doesn't work that way. Let's give one more scripture too before we get to these current events. How do we know that? Because even the righteous, and looking at Revelation 6, and let's look at verse 9. And this is the testimony of the fifth seal, right? It says, and when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and the testimony which they held. So even the righteous, when this fifth seal gets opened up, man, many of the righteous are going to be slain too. That's going to come with the persecution. That's going to come with the detainments and the tortures and, being slain for holding the testimonies of Christ and keeping the commandments and not budging or compromising when being forced into position to do so. So it ain't just going to be, if I do what I'm supposed to do, everything's. We don't have any guarantees of that. That's what keeps us fearful, right? That's what keeps us fearful. So let's move and see what's going on in the world today. All right. So updating, what happened with the wars and the rumors of wars, man? There was a lot of right-wing MAGA hat people who was cheerleading along. He's making good on his promise. He's going to end the war. He's doing what no other president has been able to do. He got Putin to come over here to Alaska. They're going to talk, and he's giving them ultimatums. And if we haven't learned by now, man, that Agent Orange, Donald J. Trump, man, is a master bluffer. He loves to make threats. He's a troll because at this point, remember, he gave a 50-day ultimatum, dropped it down to 10, met with Putin, did nothing come of it. America did nothing. There's no sanction, nothing that came from that. Russia went straight to bombing again, right? Then he doubled back and said, well, I'm just going to meet with Zelensky. And we're going to get him and the EU. I'm going to get them to get on board. And did nothing come of that. Only thing they left for that saying that he was going to hopefully facilitate a meeting between Putin and Zelensky. And Zelensky, I think Putin was like, man, I'm not in no rush to talk to him. Anyway, back to business. So in typical fashion, look at it. Russia launches missile attacks on central Ukraine hours after Trump and Zelensky meeting concludes. So Russia ain't playing, man. This only goes to show you that that prophecy in Ezekiel 38 is so real. When the Most High said he's going to put hooks in the jaws of Gog and Magog and drag them into war, man, whether they like it or not, man. His mouth has been bridled like a horse, man. And he's being tossed and turned whichever direction that the Most High is leading him, which he's leading him into a path of World War III. So launching missile attacks, and they said it was heavy attacks too, hours after he met with Zelensky. And mind you, this was just 2 days before he was supposedly talking with him, chopping it up for 3 hours in Alaska. And Trump talking about, yeah, we had a very productive conversation. We got a lot of things discussed. A lot of it, a lot of little things, but there's one major thing that we might be able to talk about, but we don't have can't speak about it. I've seen the video I played last week. Nothing's coming of it, man. Russia went right back bombing again. Russia launched a wave of missile and drone attacks against Ukrainian cities on August 19th, hours after President Volodymyr Zelensky concluded peace talks with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House. Explosions were reported in the city of Kremenchuk as Russia launched ballistic missiles struck the country's central region, multiple ballistic missiles and dozens of drones were reportedly used in the attack. So much for that, right? They keep talking about Trump trying to get a Nobel Peace Prize, man. You can forget about that. He just wants to add one more thing to his little resume. That's not going down. Let's continue. This is why I said it's getting worse. Maduro says mobilizing millions of militia after U.S. threats. So there's a threat right now that America is thinking about invading Venezuela. Venezuela is on high alert. They've got 4.5 million militia members, man, getting ready to get busy for warfare with America. And America, in typical fashion, man, you know what? Hold on. I'm about to see something real quick. I've mentioned this countless times. Before we continue, countless times I made mention about a documentary done by Oliver Stone, and it's regarding the colonization of the Central American and South American countries, in particular, Venezuela, Ecuador, Argentina. I think those are the three center focus. It might have been one or two more. If you know or remember the name of this documentary that I have recommended for brothers and sisters to watch multiple times, put it in the chat. I will wait. I'm gonna give y'all I'll give you a couple minutes. There's a documentary that I have mentioned multiple times regarding the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, America, how they conquer and institute puppet governments, taking over Central America, South American countries, how they utilize the press to demonize the leadership, to make them sound like, in particular, Hugo Chavez at the time was a president in Venezuela. And they were talking about he was a dictator. No, not Wag the Dog. That's a movie. This is a documentary. This is a documentary by Oliver Stone. See, y'all be giving y'all jewels to watch, and then y'all sit back and be like, I ain't watching that crap. I ain't watching that crap. I'm going to turn on Friends. You want to turn on your favorite sitcom? You want to see what's the name of that other one? Everybody watch South Park. You want to watch The Simpsons? I'm trying to give y'all some real gems, man. Look. I'm waiting. Y'all are super quiet over here. Ain't that something? I don't even remember. Ain't that a... See, I don't know. Am I casting my pearls before swine? I'm just wondering. All right, I'm gonna throw y'all a lifeline, man. Do not sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. I'm trying to tell you. Oh, my brother. See, I almost gave up. My brother, 10 toes down, always around. Kohai got it on the money. On the money. South of the border, right? You got to go check that out because it's going to help us understand better. Even worse, how America, global banks colonize, oppress our brothers in South Central America. How they take over these particular places by loaning them out money, exorbitant interest rates where they can't pay it out. When they can't pay it out, guess who comes along and takes control of those countries? You guessed it. Good old America. Next thing you know, KFC's over there, McDonald's, they speak in English. Industries are getting built up over there. Oil is being taken over. presidents are being taken down. New Spaniard-looking dictators is getting put into place. You got it. You got it, sis. There you go. There you go. I got to go check that out because this is what's embarking right now with President Maduro. They could talk about, you know, his ruling as a socialist, quote unquote dictator, and all of that, right? Because that's what ends up happening. When Hugo Chavez was the president over there, once they paid off their loans that they owed to the IMF, he told them, "Man, go to hell. I don't want no more money from get up out of my country." After that, they was demonizing him. They was talking about he was a dictator. He's oppressing the people. America organized the coup. They tried to put him to death multiple times. He even said, man, when George Bush came over there to go speak, he went in and spoke after him. He said, man, it smells like sulfur's been here. Basically called him the white man the devil. Now you see why they got rid of him. Maduro comes behind him, leading the same way. Now, has he done, I guess, a greater good to help uplift the country? No, they're in too deep. They're in too deep. They're running a socialist economy, which pretty much is a blend of governmental control and funding for everything. So you might get, you know, free healthcare, schooling, this, that, and the third, but your wages and your money and everything else is down. They've been cut off from being able to sell a hot commodity of oil. They're an oil-rich country, but when Esau came down and said sanctions on them, nobody deal with them. If you do, we're on your head. That cut off their pipeline into the funding, right? The only ones who've really been going over there dealing with them is China and Russia. So because they've been made an enemy of America, now we see Venezuela is hearing about these threats, you know, and Trump and these people talking about it. We got to cut the drugs off and these illegals and this, that, and the third, and basically declaring war on Venezuela. Small little Venezuela, man. But I've covered articles, man. China's been running military drills down there. Russia's been running military drills down there. I believe Venezuela is on hold with joining the BRICS economy. So they've got some backing, but as of right now, they might be facing this on their own. So that's why I said it's getting worse. Trump is supposed to be a president of peace. He wants to end all these wars. He's talking about all these millions and millions of people dying, but meanwhile, he's ready to engage in a whole nother war again and kill more people. Venezuela, Nicola, well, I guess it matters, you know, because it's white folks over there between Russia and Ukraine, man. White lives matter, right? But if it's brown folks down there in Venezuela, man, bomb the hell out of them. Who cares? We're going to invade. Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro on Monday said he would deploy 4.5 million militia members in response to U.S., quote, threats after Washington raised the bounty for his arrest and launched anti-drug operations in the Caribbean. Remember I played a video what was it? Might have been last year, where they had seized his plane, and that interview that they had with the little FBI or the DEA agent, and they had to do it like 2 or 3 takes because he was messing up the script that they gave him. Anybody remember that? And I was like, look at this. This is all staged, man. Look at it. They over here seized the man's plane. Then they sitting up there. The guy messed up his lines a couple times. He was like, oh, can we do that again? Can we do that again? Do y'all remember that? If you remember that, throw a 7 in the chat. If you remember that video, because this is regarding Nicolas Maduro and them seizing his plane, saying that it was being possibly used to ship drugs. I mean, come on, man. The dude's a damn president. He's selling dope too. But let's not get into the rabbit hole of where the dope came from. Who brought it here to the streets of America? That's already been bust wide open. CIA, the Iran-Contra scandal, Oliver North, right? Gary Webb was the reporter that blew the door of the whole operation open, and next thing you know, he got double tapped in the back of the head, and they said it was a suicide. He unalived himself. So if you say that word, they're gonna throw all kind of damn cautionary things on this video. How do you smite yourself with 2 taps to the back of the head Two? All right. And they're worried about him, Maduro. He's involved with drugs. So this week, I will activate a special plan with more than 4.5 million militiamen to ensure coverage of the entire national territory. Militias that are prepared, activated, and armed, Maduro announced on state television. Now, what's interesting is this. I shared this on, I believe it was, I did share it on Instagram. And can't remember where I got. Somebody sent me the video. Um, but nonetheless, I was trying to think. Did I save it? Anyway, if I get an opportunity, I'll try to find it before we close out. But Maduro was on record calling out, um, what's his name, Benjamin, not a Jew, acknowledging him not being a real chosen seed of Jacob, that he's from Poland, changed his name the whole nine, and he said the people over there aren't even the real Jews. Said all this in Spanish. I wish I had it. Did anybody catch that? Did any of y'all catch that? I know I posted it. I know we barely post on that Instagram, but I did post it on there. I think I posted it somewhere else. Who the interviews too? I guess y'all don't remember that video there, that interview. With what's the name? When they seized this plane. Let me see here. Yeah, so U.S. seizes plane by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, citing violations of sanctions of export and control laws. So they've been on him for a minute, right? Look, they've been on him $700 million of Nicolas Maduro's assets. Hold on 1 second. I got to find that other video because when he starts getting according to our oppressor, man, you start getting beside yourself, man. You get a little too chatty and start speaking some truth. It's a problem, right? Let me see. Where is that video at? I don't see it on here. Man, who sent me that video? It's lucky, y'all. Give me 1 second. I think it was. No, I thought I knew where it was. But anyway, I can't find it off the top of my head. I don't want to waste too much more time on it. But nonetheless, Maduro came out, talked about the GMO small hats over there living a lie, and next thing you know, he's getting raided. They seizing hundreds of millions of dollars from him. They got a bounty out for him right now. Isn't there a warrant out for Putin right now? Or how come they not chasing him down, man? This dude been making public appearances, talking crazy on the TV all the time. But now they after him now, right? So now we see here this week, I'll activate a special plan with more than 4.5 million militiamen to ensure coverage of the entire national territory. Militias that are prepared, activated, and armed, Maduro announced on state television. Official figures say the Venezuelan militia, founded by Maduro predecessor Hugo Chavez, contains about 5 million people, though the actual number is believed to be smaller. All right. So warfare is on the horizon and an invasion into Venezuela. And you know what it's about? They want that oil over there. They want that oil over there. They want the resources. Remember, Trump is on the mission. He wanted the Panama Canal because he wanted access to that. He wants Greenland. He wants Venezuela. He wants. He got the mineral deal over there in Ukraine. So he's on a scavenger mission. Is what's really going on. And Maduro just said too much now. So let's see where that goes. Look at it. Russia bombs a U.S. factory in one of the war's largest attacks. So this is after he already met with Putin. Russia's bombing U.S. factories now. You would consider that an act of war, man. I'm still wondering why there hasn't been a retaliation by the U.S. at this point. Either Trump is scared to get busy, or I don't know. But you would think that would incite, at the least, some sort of retaliation from America. U.S. factory, one of the war's largest attacks. The Kremlin launches more than 600 drones and missiles at targets across Ukraine. Russia struck an American business with cruise missiles overnight in one of the largest aerial attacks of the war so far. Ukraine has said the Ukrainian Air Force said some 574 drones and 40 missiles were fired overnight, primarily targeting western regions of the country, far from the battlefield's front line in the east and south of this country. So I only see it getting worse, right? I don't see where the hopeful peace is on the horizon, man. That this is going to be some magical meeting, that these two eggheads is going to come together and not crack each other at some point in time. No, it's not going down. All right, let's continue. NATO warplanes scramble for a second day after huge attack as World War III fears explode. NATO's on the move. You know, as they continue, they are trying to get themselves in position. We constantly seeing these particular type headlines every other week about how NATO's preparing. This is after they left that meeting too on Monday, because the EU and many of the leaders were there too. Is this the video, Ashar? You send it to me. I guess they're not letting you put it in the chat. Maybe you can't put a video in the chat. Is that it? There you go, Johnny on the spot.
Do you have $100? Because I'm looking for 2,000 believers who are willing to trade $100 for a house.
Shut up.
He visto las declaraciones.
Okay, let me see if I can share this. Yeah, because I got to see this. I was surprised. I was like, damn. He's talking the truth. All right, let me see if I can pull this one up. Give me 1 second, y'all. Y'all got to see this one. Maduro talking big stuff, and now he's got to deal with the consequences. You don't talk about massa, man.
He visto.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Las declaraciones de Naciones Unidas ha permitido el bombardeo y la destrucción de Beirut y del Líbano. Han permitido el bombardeo y la destrucción de Siria. Todos los.
Well, you better watch this before you send it. I know you thought you had it, but he ain't got the translations on here.
Dice Londres, ¿qué dice Washington? Van a seguir alentando al Hitler del siglo XXI.
Oh, see there, he said something about Hitler. Yeah, this ain't the translation, man. We need the one that's translated. They got the closed caption translation underneath. Valiant effort, my brother. I appreciate you trying, though. But that is the video, but there's one that has the language translated. If you find that one, send it to me. If not, we got to keep it pushing. Moving on, back to NATO. All right. right, so NATO is getting ready to, from their feedback that they got after that meeting on Monday, because they went into the meeting with Zelensky on Monday as his handlers, as his his witnesses, because they seen how it went the last time. Last time he was at the White House, they called it the Fight House. He was in there getting barked on, and they was butting heads, and they was going at it in there and all of that, and it didn't go well. This go around, they told him, man, put a suit on, and we're gonna go in there. We got your back. So they had a whole little round table of people from the EU, man, various countries in NATO in there, want to talk about the state of the war. And what they do when they left, they said, "Oh, this ain't looking good. Let's go ahead on and get scrambled and get ready, because who knows where this could go." This is a post that I seen regarding what's going on in Venezuela and how America moves on these particular countries. I can read this better than I can say it. Whoever this guy is, CEO, lawyer, he typed it out perfectly, right? Over here, he says, want to make a quick 50 million? All you got to do is destroy the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. That's the bounty. $50 million for his head, right? Yes, you read that right. The United States government put a bounty on a president of a nation. This guy hasn't attacked America, stolen our resources, destroyed or injured our people, but he has said the one thing you're not allowed to say in America. This is why they want him destroyed, just like all the other heads of states that defy Israel and America. Yeah, this is the video was attached to this guy's I think it was an Instagram post. Somebody sent it to me. I can't remember who did it. But yeah, the video is attached to this, right? Oh, dang, I want to say, I know who it was, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it in this post. But anyway, up here it says, when Gaddafi wanted Libya and the rest of Africa to move to gold-backed currency, the U.S. smote him and destroyed his country. When Saddam Hussein wanted to move oil transactions off the U.S. dollar, the U.S. smote him too and ransacked Iraq. And when Venezuela wants to become independent, the U.S. again smites and destroys. We're the bad guys. See, white guilt doesn't make them tell the truth. White guilt will make them tell the truth, man. Look at that. So this is exactly what, when you see this, Venezuela wants to become independent, that's essentially what that movie or the documentary South of the Border covers. And I've played it. Matter of fact, I played a little clip of it when George Bush had a meeting with the Oliver Stone was interviewing the former president of Argentina, and he said he had a meeting with Bush, and they were talking about how to get out of their economic situation, and Bush advised him to go to war. He said, man, anytime you want to you need money, you gotta go to war, because that makes them create funding and print money and everything else. So we see why America's been at war and hasn't known peace all but about 15 to 17 years of its existence since 1776. America has continually been in some sort of conflict or war since then and continues on. So that's the way of the world, man. If you don't go along with them, that's your $A double dollar sign, as they say. You remember what happened when Hillary Clinton said, we came, he saw, he died. Ha 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 ha. And laughing about how they, put to death Gaddafi in Libya, right? He was on the way to creating his own currency backed by gold. He was getting ready to liberate all the other African countries and lead a whole new regime of trying to get Africa on their feet of independence. And those type of voices can't be heard. Ask Fred Hampton. You seen that. Fear of a Black Messiah. Anytime you get some particular leadership, that was J. Edgar Hoover said, man, we can't have no Black Messiahs, man. We can't have nobody waking these people up. Anybody who's on the right track, anybody who's a threat to the exposing of this particular regime, man, you got to get rid of them. You can't get rid of them, defame them, discredit them, embarrass him, scandalize him, do whatever you need to do. But we can't have him be a voice. But they got no problem taking out them heathen, though. Look at this, military preparing attacks on Mexican cartels. So not only Venezuela, but they're also talking about going to war with the cartels. Trump administration has directed the military to prepare for lethal strikes against cartel targets inside Mexico. And the president of Mexico told Trump that wasn't going down, that she was not going to allow them to come over into Mexico. He was saying that she wasn't being compliant with them helping stopping the fentanyl and the drugs coming from across the border. The fentanyl is coming from China, in addition to the cartels. So why not get lit with China then? See, they pick on the smaller, they pick on America's always bullying, but now they're getting ready to do some quote unquote attacks on these cartels who they've been doing business with. Something tells me that they must have had some particular interactions with the cartels that didn't go their way. And it's like, oh, you want to do it your way now, huh? Oh, you're trying to cut us out? You think you don't need us anymore? Oh, well, guess what? We can just go ahead and take you out. Nicaragua and all them, they all know how America operates. The Trump administration has directed the military to prepare for lethal strikes against cartel targets inside Mexico. 3 military sources tell us the top secret planning order issued in late spring directs Northern Command, or NORTHCOM, to manage the attack plans, which are to be ready by mid-September. Though the U.S.-Mexico military relations are broad and cooperative, any military action south of the border is considered extremely sensitive for both Washington and the Mexican federal government, and is rarely discussed in public. Not only is Donald Trump uniquely focused on TCOs, transitional criminal organizations, the official name for cartels, having designated them terrorists in one of his first executive orders, but he has shown himself to be willing to take unilateral action despite potentially negative political ramifications. I didn't put it in here, but I do remember the GMO small hat female president in Mexico says she wasn't having it. What's her name? Scheinbaum? Letter to Trump. What's this say? That was over the tariffs. Let's see if something come up with that. Yeah, see here. Mexico president denies new DEA partnership against cartels. The DEA announced a, quote, major new initiative with Mexico to fight cartels. President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico said that was news to her. So, of course, the small hat man, she's saying, no, let the cartels operate. You coming over here? I don't know nothing about that. No, you're not allowed to come over here. Let the drugs flow. Sheinbaum rejects U.S. airstrike talk on cartels, vows to defend Mexico's sovereignty. So she ain't with it. But now we're talking about not only the war with the Mexican cartels, but now you're initially engaging in war with Mexico, let alone Venezuela. Right? The only thing that came up out of the Ukraine-Russia talks is that Trump said that he won't put U.S. troops on the ground in Ukraine. Well, that's not really a big deal because they've been fighting with drones and missiles anyway. There's some ground-based warfare that's going on, but most of the damage is coming through these drone attacks. So to say that you're not going to have U.S. troops on the ground, what's that mean? That's like talking in code saying we ain't gonna be on the ground, but we're gonna bomb away in the air. They're the ones giving all the radar and the military strike positions and all that other stuff for Mexico. They're providing the intel. So No, that's just another little white lie, man. But here we go. The peace president is talking about creating 2 wars with Mexico and Venezuela now. Oh, what's going on here? $50,000 signing bonus, no age caps, the blitz to hire ICE officers. In the age now where people are losing their jobs, desperate, needing money, here they are throwing money at random cats out here on the streets, man, saying, come be an ICE officer. We'll give you a $50,000 bonus. You're going to get paid. You can throw on a mask, a hat, some shades. Nobody know who you are. Go do our dirty work, man. Be the new Gestapo out here on the streets, man. I showed y'all last week, man, that the actor Dean Cain was playing Superman on TV and all that. He just became an ICE agent. I guess the acting pool done dried up, man. Ain't nobody calling them no more. Agents, they lost his number. So he's like, man, I'm out here. I need to pay these bills, man. Let me run out here and get with ICE. So not only here are they dangling and enticing folks with money, knowing it's a time right now where people are really in desperation for finances. Now they're getting ready to mobilize unqualified cast, man, to hit these streets, man, to run out here and get at the Northern Kingdom. Uncle Sam, Miami Vice. When it comes to recruiting new immigration and customs enforcement officers, the Trump administration is getting creative. Didn't he say that before? Get creative with your arresting methods. Get creative with your means for detaining. Now they're getting creative with recruiting. Social media campaign launched late last month touted immigration enforcement as an opportunity for father-son bonding and to, quote, deport illegals with your absolute boys. It's slang term for close friends. The Department of Homeland Security has invoked World War era imagery and touted 1990 Superman actor Dean Cain in an all-out blitz to persuade Americans they should join ISIS ranks. This is that private military. Remember, we talked about that, right? When we talked about the private military police state, we went over all of that. This is exactly what's going on. This is how they're circumventing. Remember we read that last week? How utilizing Operation Garden Plot and the Rex 84 and the King Alfred plan, and how the Constitution says that the military can enforce laws against the citizens, but they were going to use a separate policing force, privatized, to do the dirty work. And this is what they're doing right now. You don't remember that? Go back and watch last week's episode. We covered all of that. Rex 84, the King Alfred plan, martial law, etc. This is exactly what they're doing. There he goes.
We are following some breaking news. This does involve the case against Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Take a look at this video as he was released from jail in Tennessee just yesterday. Immigration officials now saying they plan to deport him to Africa after he turned down an offer to be deported to Costa Rica in exchange for remaining there in jail and pleading guilty to human smuggling charges. The information coming from a court filing that was released today. The Costa Rica offer reportedly came late Thursday after it was clear that the man from El Salvador would likely be released from jail in Tennessee Friday. As you can see, that's what happened. Abrego Garcia declined to extend his stay in jail, and he was released Friday to await trial in Maryland with his family. Following his release, the Department of Homeland Security notified his attorneys that he would be deported to Uganda and should report to immigration authorities Monday, so 2 days from now. Abrego Garcia was deported from the U.S. in March and facing a court order. The Trump administration brought him back in June, detaining him on human smuggling charges in Tennessee. He pleaded not guilty to the crimes and asked the judge to dismiss the case, claiming that it was an attempt to punish him for challenging his deportation to El Salvador. Although Abrego...
I mean, can you imagine this foolishness, man?
We are following some breaking news. This does involve the case against Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Take a look at this video as he was released from jail in Tennessee just yesterday. Immigration officials now saying they... We are following some breaking.
Okay. All right. Psalm 94:16, right? For who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? I mean, this is pure madness, man. This is what we're seeing here when the guy, first of all, gets arrested, detained, deported, and sent to El Salvador, all wrongfully, right? All wrongfully. Was fighting for months to say, man, I'm a citizen. I wasn't supposed to be detained. You arrested me, deported me, saying I was illegal. He had all the right information, right? Then Trump says, well, bring him back over here. He's getting all this particular national spotlight and all this other stuff. A video pops up with him in the car with some illegals. I think they said he was crossing state lines. And they said that he was trafficking illegals into Maryland. We don't know nothing, the circumstance. We don't know where, why, how that ended up happening. That became his new charge. So he's thinking, oh, I'm getting out of El Salvador prison, man. Finally, I'm going back home. Remember, and Trump was running around saying he's a gangbanger. You can see the tattoos, and clearly it was Photoshop and all kind of damn AI messing around with skin. Tattoos was fake that he had on his hands and all that other stuff. He gets back over here, and they say, well, you're getting extradited back to, you're going to Tennessee now for your trafficking. Now they keep saying that he's getting released, but you're going to get released to go do some time in Costa Rica. He says, no, I'm not doing that. Then they say, well, okay, we're fine. We'll release you, but we're going to send you to Uganda now. I mean, this is unbelievable, man. Psalms 94:20, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law. This is constant mischief, man. They keep throwing them all around. And this is all to break his will, break his spirit, man. And it's a warning sign for everybody and anybody else because
we are following some breaking news.
As we said, this is not only subject to the Northern Kingdom. Southern Kingdom is next. They're patrolling, they're running through these streets of Washington, D.C. Chicago's next. And here we go, National Guard. This is up to anybody. Any one of us could be detained if you fit the profile, you fit the reasonings. And it's like once you're detained, they could throw you to the wolves and you're fighting a never-ending battle trying to get out and be recognized. So many people are being disappeared, can't be found in the system. Children are being snatched up. You don't know where they're at, being taken from their homes. Mothers are getting deported, separated from their children. It's a mess. And wicked is all outdoors, man. But look, National Guard is mobilizing in 19 states amid immigration crime crackdown. So now they're expanding. As we said, 1,700 National Guardsmen are set to mobilize in 19 states in the coming weeks to assist Department of Homeland Security with President Donald Trump's nationwide crackdown on illegal immigration and crime. Hold on. I thought it was only illegal immigration at first. And he said, oh, well, it's about the criminals. Then we're getting rid of the criminals and those are the bad guys that are over here illegally. Now it's expanded just criminals in general. So immigrants, so-called immigrants, illegal aliens are the target and quote unquote criminals. Or if you're being suspected. You seen the video last week. Brothers are sitting on their porch, man, and on the stairs chilling. And here goes the Gestapo goons, man, walking through. Hey, what are you guys up to? What's that you're smoking? Hey, hold on. You guys got ID? Hey, we'll just let your boys know. Everybody's out. We're out to get everybody. You know, you can pass. You can get a little zip, pass a man an ounce. You know, you can have at least 2 ounces on you. That's not a problem. But if you're smoking it, we're on your ass. I mean, this is the type of stuff they got going on. Well, now you can't even sit outside your damn door without being questioned, detained. And if you know how it go, you talk back, you question the damn, ask the wrong person, and you got cuffs slapped on you as they're yelling, stop resisting, and they beat you upside the head and possibly shoot you or choke you out or throw you into a damn back of the squad car or unmarked car and you gone. And be the next person talking about how they shipping you off to Uganda. Look at you. Documents obtained by Fox News show planning for activations in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Mexico, Ohio, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and Wyoming. With status effective from August through mid-November, Texas is projected to host the most significant Guard presence. So from now until November, these troops and National Guard are going to be on the streets, shaking down and backing up the militarized police and the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, and everybody else. 19 states already, right? As they continually are still expanding even more. So now look at this down here too. National Guard soldiers are being mobilized will effectively serve as a support pillar to a sweeping federal interagency effort while also serving as a visible deterrent force. That's what they did out here when they was marching through MacArthur Park with the horses and the damn troops marching through the park and military Humvee vehicles out on the streets and all that. It was to be a deterrent and a visible force saying we're here. Get used to it. A U.S. defense official said the service members supporting ICE will be performing case management, transportation, logistical support, and clerical functions associated with the processing of illegal migrants at the facilities. The in and out processing may include personal data collection, fingerprinting, DNA swabbing, and photographing of personnel in ICE custody. So what are they doing? They're creating databases. They're taking DNA, fingerprints. Even if you're being detained and they let you go, that information is staying with them. Lord knows where it can end up. Planted at a drug scene, planted at a murder, DNA here, there, who knows? Who knows? But they going for broke. Look, Trump looks to Chicago next in the federal crackdown on crime. You know them Chi-Town Negroes over there, man. They always on the damn streets and always acting a damn fool. So we're gonna see if they still gonna be as tough as they are with shooting each other up and shooting up parties and shooting, or are they gonna stand on business and handle it when the troops is coming and ICE is coming? You know damn well they not. Niggas is gonna be ghost town. Chicago will likely be the next target in the Trump administration crackdown on crime, the president said Friday, prompting pushback from the city and state leaders who called the possible deployment of National Guard troops an overreach of federal power. Chicago's a mess, President Trump said Friday. We'll straighten that one out probably next. And then he added, we'll help with New York. Right? So he's got it all figured out. So we're going to see. And they're already over there in Chicago saying, stay out of our city, get out of it. We don't want you. Don't even try it. But that's not going to work. They coming. They already been out here. That's why they ain't tripping about California. They're going to double back out here. They already was out here. Did their thing for a minute. Then they jetted. They're going to come back. But the crackdown is real. It's real. Job market, we talk about this all the time. It ain't getting no better, man. Trump's running around here acting like, hold on one second. You damn dog. Pardon the interruption, y'all. I'm back. All right. So we talked about the economy, man. Trump has been running around here talking about how he's done a better job than any president ever. He's got everything back on track. Inflation is down. Jobs is up. Lying through his teeth. Job market gloom hasn't been this bad since the Great Recession. Yeah. The job market is bad out there. Man. If you got a job, if you got an income, man, try your best to hold on to it. You're going to have to take them lashes, take them whips, man. You got to smile in the face of them that you hate just to keep it moving. Because, hey, lose it, you're going to have a hard time getting back on track right now. especially if you're a seasoned veteran in a particular field, you got multiple things working against you. You're probably making more than the entry-level cats. So you leave, you try to go somewhere else, they ain't gonna give you what you're worth. 2, you might have some age on you, and they might want to take advantage of some young cat man coming in there. They can manipulate and, pull some wool over his eyes. The competition is already heavy in various fields in the job markets where they ain't too many jobs out there. So it's dog eat dog right now. You damn near, and in most jobs it's who you know, not what you know. You might get in on a hookup, but straight off the streets on some, here's my resume, I'm trying to interview for the job. That's damn near extinct. I heard that the website LinkedIn, I think it's Indeed or LinkedIn, one of the two of them. The same company that's supposed to be helping you find jobs, they're laying off. Which one is that? I mean, it's bad out there, man. You got a gig, man. Hold on to it. LinkedIn. Yeah. In 2025, LinkedIn has announced layoffs affecting around 200 employees, which is about 14% of its workforce, as part of a restructuring effort. See that? The people supposed to be helping you network to find jobs, and they can't even hold jobs. It's bad out there, man. Let alone AI taking jobs, So when the proverbial ish hits the fan, it's gonna be tough for a lot of us out there, man. So stay wise with your jobs, man. Don't get out of pocket. Gotta be good little servant, man. The Lord said you got to serve your enemy. Do what you gotta do. I ain't saying lick boots, kick boots either, but move with wisdom in your job, man. Wise as a serpent, harmless as doves. Because if they get to cutting the heads off, man, there ain't a lot waiting for you. It's not really cracking like that out there. Another mass shooting. Cops hunt multiple gunmen in NYC mass shooting that left 3 dead, 9 wounded. So not a lot's changed since the last 3-4 weeks, huh? There we go. Tuberculosis spawning in the crowded, dirty ICE detention centers. So they're spawning up TB cases because of the conditions and them not taken care of. The detainees in these ICE facilities, man. So they're ramping up infectious diseases in there, right? It's all bad in there. Speaking of that, me and my son were just talking about the damn Black Plague is back. Polio's back. You seen these mutated rabbits and deer out there, man, with horns and things growing all off them. Did y'all see them things? I know y'all seen them. See that? They all mutating. There's a number of different rabbits, man, out here mutating with these damn horns growing out their heads. This been a famous picture right here. Colorado rabbits spotted with scary horns and tentacles coming out their heads. Right? You got damn animals that's mutating, man. The Black Plague. It's all kind of madness going on here. But remember, Most High said that he's going to smite Egypt with plagues as in before. In 2nd Ezra 15. So plagues is definitely on the way. We see it. 2nd Ezra 15:11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. This is how we know that it's not talking about ancient Egypt, because it said this is new particular Egypt. It's going to get smitten with plagues just like it was before. It's Egypt of old. And we can see that Egypt ain't been hit with plagues like they have been before. Since the children of Israel left up out of there, and ain't been nothing but a dust bowl over there. Nobody's tripping about Egypt, man. The only ones tripping about Egypt, man, these goofy Negroes, man, in love with Kemet and in love with, Kemetic science and mythologies that are associated with Ham, with the Hamites. Other than that, man, nobody's caring about that. So this is the spiritual Egypt that Revelation 11 and 8 speaks about. Same one that's got a pyramid on the back of the dollar bill. Same one that's got multiple pyramids all throughout America. Same ones who's adopted many of the practices and the witchcraft elements of Egypt. Same one that has in bondage the chosen people of the Lord, the Israelites. Right here. Getting hit with plagues as before and will destroy all the land thereof. So we know that the end result of this place is going to be destruction. But here they go, spreading diseases, all that's going on, right? Doctors attempting to see ICE holding facility at 26 Federal Plaza are rejected. So they got TB outbreaks going on in there. Doctors are trying to get up in there to try to help them, and they're being rejected, saying, no, get out of here. Let them die. Let them infect, right? Several New York physicians are speaking out against what they are saying are inhumane conditions at an immigration holding facility in Lower Manhattan. Monday, physicians from the nonprofit New York Doctors Coalition tried to get into 26 Federal Plaza, requesting access to assess conditions on the 10th floor. That's what the doctors say. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has an overcrowded and unsanitary holding facility for detained immigrants. The Department of Homeland Security calls it a processing center. The doctors were turned away by security. Last month, video released by the New York Immigration Coalition and verified by CBS News New York showed conditions on the 10th floor. Although it was unclear when the footage was taken, the person taking the video was heard saying, "Look how they have us here like dogs." Are people getting treated like dogs, right? See? And what's it, the Lamentations 4? And 17, right? It says, as for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help, and watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. See, a lot of y'all people, man, been running over here thinking that this is the land of milk and honey, man. All your dreams can be fulfilled as long as you cross that border and get up over here. You thinking that this nation is the one that's going to save you? No, the Most High is going to save you. But as soon as you start trusting the man and he done turned his back on you, that's what the Lord said, man, never trust thy enemy. But our people don't learn. They want to come over here, man, and thinking like they're going to get taken care of. Everything's going to be good for them. No, no, no. This nation can't save you, man. They're going to actually turn their back on you. Sirach 12 and 10, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Come over here, man. You're building up infrastructure. You're working hard in the kitchens. You're working hard cleaning and mopping and cleaning toilets and doing everything else, taking every job they don't want, man. Out there in the fields, picking and planting and selling the produce out on the streets, man. Working in the retail industries, working downtown. People over here prostitute. Our people, sisters out here prostitute themselves, doing whatever they can, man, to get that money so they can try to establish a better life back home. Thinking that they're coming over here, man, killing themselves just to live. Then they get shown that you ain't nothing but a dog in their eyes. Over there catching diseases, man. Doctors coming in saying, hey, we want to investigate what's going on. We need to check out the people, man. We want to make sure you're taking good care of them. Security says, man, get the hell out of here. Mind your business, man. We got it taken care of. Unbelievable. Home Depot sued for allegedly using facial recognition as self-checkout kiosks without consent. I was just at Home Depot yesterday and I seen the damn thing. I thought about this article. I said, oh, there they go. But this is all part of the plan, man. If you've seen that movie Minority Report, facial recognition is going to be part of the beast system. It already is. They've been doing it in China. They're doing it over here. They're doing it everywhere. This is part of the Big Brother global system of oppression, man. Freedom is a thing of the past in many aspects. A new class action lawsuit accuses Home Depot of collecting biometric data from customers without their consent. Plaintiff Benjamin Jankowski filed a class action complaint against Home Depot on August 1st in Illinois. Federal court alleging violations of state privacy law. Janikowski alleges Home Depot has been collecting biometric data from customers without their consent, which is in violation of Illinois Biometric Information Privacy Act. I'm not going to go further down into this for the sake of time and for the lesson's sake. I mean, for the rest of the articles that I got. But yeah, I mean, this is what they're doing, and it's getting fed back into the Oracle and the Palantir systems that Trump got set up, so they can create this complete digitized biometric grid system that when they start pushing for the technological advancements of the mark of the beast, they already got everybody lined up into the database. You see what they're doing with all the migrants, man. They already snatching them up, taking DNA samples, doing what they need to do. They're going to interface that things with QR codes and things on your phones to biometrically link you to them, and that's what it's going to be. Armed drones to be deployed to schools to stop mass shooters. Armed drones, right? We've heard about the nightmares about them using drones and having armed drones surveying and responding to crimes, and that being the new arm of the police and things like that. Oh yeah, it's going down. How long before it's not just for mass shooters? Why would you just create all of these armed drones for mass shooters at schools? It ain't like that's happening every other week, and you need to get them. You need to get them out there immediately. You're creating these things for when things really start popping off, and it's like, oh, we were going to use it for the school. Well, we can't just let them go to waste. Let's use them to invade the spaces and the personal privacies of people, or to roll up on somebody's house and spray something down or drop something on it. That's not far-fetched, man. You remember the neighborhood over there in Philly? I forgot the name of the movement that they had. If somebody remembers that the movement in Philly, throw it in the chat where they dropped the bomb over in Philly, man. What's the name of that movement? Was it Rise? No. Move. 1985 Move bombing. That was it. Look at this. They bombed the whole block. Black neighborhood. Move was a quote unquote pro-black movement that was helping the community, and it was kind of like an offshoot of the Black Panther spirit. But yeah, they messed around and got bombed, man. So to think that we know about Tulsa, Oklahoma, we're not going to assume that there's not going to be speculation that these drones could drop some bombs on people if ever needed. See, drone technology that assists responders to school shootings is set to be trialed in Florida. The Campus Guardian Angel is a Texas-based system that, while supporting the police and other responders, a trial will be rolled out in 3 Florida school districts after approval from Governor Ron DeSantis. Newsweek contacted the governor's office for more information on the policy via email. For the story, drones can be deployed within 5 seconds. With more than 60 school shootings reported in Florida alone since 2018, according to the K-12 school shooting database, educators and lawmakers have urgently sought innovative approaches to school safety. All right. The introduction of attack drones designed to respond to active shooter threats in seconds aims to address the crucial window in which most fatalities occur and could represent a major shift in school security across the U.S. Don't think that this is just going to be for the schools. They're going to have these things in the cities before you know it. Before you know it, right? Look at this. You can now carry rifles and shotguns in Washington, D.C. without facing charges. New policy after Trump takeover. Believe that if you want. You Negroes, man, you better not believe this applies to you. They already policing you. You can't sit on your porch and smoke a cigarette without them coming out there. Not that I'm condoning smoking cigarettes. Let me be clear. But you can't even be out there smoking the damn square without them rolling up and saying something to you. You think you're going to be sitting outside with your damn shotgun? Shotty out here in the corner, they're gonna blow your dome off, man. This is another little bait they're gonna get Jakes caught up. Everything don't apply to us, right? Federal prosecutors in Washington, D.C. have been directed not to pursue felony charges against people caught carrying rifles or shotguns in the city, a dramatic departure from longstanding practice. The instruction confirmed by U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro in an email obtained by the Washington Post follows guidance from the Justice Department and the Solicitor General. So go out and carry some rifles and shotguns in public if you want to, Chocolate City Negroes. See how many Jakes getting locked up and put to death over there over the threat of, hey, what are you doing with that? He's armed. Look out. You shoot first, ask questions later. I believe that this is a bait that they're going to use to get some Jakes caught up, but we'll see. Look at it. FDA investigating possibly radioactive shrimp being sold at Walmart. All praise to the Most High, man, for his law, statutes, and commandments. This would and should not affect any of us in the faith and in these laws, man, because we know eating of shrimp, crab, lobster, these shellfish, according to Leviticus 11 chapter, we're not supposed to be eating this anyway. And as much as you try to plead to our people and say, hey, you need to remove that out your diet, man. Get off that swine. Get out the shrimp, the crab, the lobster. Stop eating the hog maws and chitlins and all that other. Like, this is unhealthy stuff. Let alone we're seeing a lot of these frankenfoods, man, that they out here bubbling up is getting jacked up. And not only that, causing cancer rates, obesity, diabetes, heart failures, and everything else. So spread this to your loved ones who's can't get rid of the damn roach of the sea, the shrimp. That's what it is, the roach of the sea, the bottom dwellers. Spread this and say, hey, I don't think you should be eating that. Where'd you get that shrimp from? Walmart? I ain't getting it from Walmart. I got it from, Food for Less, Save Mart, whatever. Well, I wouldn't trust it anyway. The Lord told us we're not supposed to be eating shrimp. It's radioactive shrimp floating around here, man. You don't know where it's coming from. Don't eat it. Sometimes you just got to scare them, and they ain't going to fear the Lord. Let them fear a damn news report. But the hard-headed, stiff-necked Negro still going to eat a damn shrimp. They don't care. But just in case you got somebody that you trying to save, you let them know. The shrimp can't be trusted. Sold at Walmart or not. The Lord said it first. Now it's being backed up. This is another little article about the war. It said Russia's foreign minister derides clumsy Western efforts on Ukraine war as NATO meets. So they were saying, look at this. Russia said Wednesday attempts to resolve security issues relating to Ukraine without Moscow's participation were a, quote, road to nowhere, and that much diplomatic work needs to be done before Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky are ever in the same room. So there you go. There's a lot of vanity and vain babblings that was going on last week, Friday and Monday. And according to Russia standards, ain't nothing going on. And that's why they continued on bombing. Now, before we close out, let's get to the meat of the matter. Many of y'all seen and been hearing this particular chatter in the algorithms. Trump blasts out of control museums for teaching how bad slavery was in a wild rant. Before we even go there, how about this? Right? Let me open this up. And let me make sure y'all can see.
Museum is a beautiful tribute.
Now this is 2017. Good old Agent Orange campaigning and talking about him going to the quote unquote African American Museum and how honored and pleasured he was to be there, right? And how great it was, and he didn't get a chance to get the full experience, and he's gonna be back. And listen to this devil talk, man. Watch the forked tongue on this damn demon.
Museum is a beautiful tribute to so many American heroes. Heroes like Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington.
She's so proud that he's reading and thinks he really is sincere about reading this off of a damn piece of paper. And you think he really gives a damn about that? He could be, if he really knew the history, he really had honor and respect for our fallen ancestors. He wouldn't even have to read. He could be rambling names off, just off of the strength of their legacy. He got to read them. She's smiling as if he's sincere. And old crusty lip Uncle Ben back here, Ben Carson. I mean, he was the only Negro that I can remember that was in his first administration, and you never seen a whisper from him. And they put him over HUD, the Housing and Urban Development. You ain't seen nothing from this crusty lip dude. Sorry, Uncle Ben, but man, you didn't take advantage of. You had no. Well, I guess he couldn't do nothing, man. He was just a figurehead. He was a puppet up in there, man. And that's why they up here too. There's puppets that sit back and act like they supporting this speech.
Rosa Parks, the Greensboro students, and the African American Medal of Honor recipients, among so many other really incredible heroes. It's amazing to see. We did a pretty comprehensive tour, but not comprehensive enough. So Lonnie, I'll be back. I told you that because I could stay here for a lot longer. Believe me, it's really incredible.
It's really incredible. He could stay there for a lot longer. I'll be back. Oh, he's coming back. All right. He's coming back saying this has got to stop. All this wokeness, all this, and emphasis on no. I was just talking to a brother yesterday, and he was out there, DC, talking about Lob. Lob was out there, and he went to the museum, and he said, "Man, he said he was vexed at everything that he's seen in there, and they do it by levels. They start at the bottom. I guess it's like the basement, and move on up as far as so-called progressions go. You know, the bottom is slavery, cotton fields, this, that, and the third. And as you move up, go upstairs, you know, they keep showing the progressions of so-called progress of the black folk. But he said, man, heathens galore up in there. They taking pictures. They're so enamored with, you know, our history. They holding the door open for him with white guilt. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, what the hell? Get out of here, man. And you sitting up here making a spectacle or make what the Lord said, we're going to be a spectacle unto the world, man, a byword proverb, you know. This is what ends up happening. Our history, our legacy, man, becomes the talk of the world. They all want to see what's going on. But as soon as we get talking about it, hey, that was in the past. Leave that alone. You guys are complaining about what? You're free now. What's the big problem? You don't like it? Go back to Africa. Blah, blah, blah. We get all that feedback. And then we got to sit back here and deal with disingenuous, fork-tongued, serpentine gestures by people like this to act as if they're doing a great work and talking about how great, you know, this place is and how he's got to go back because he can be there forever.
I'm deeply proud that we now have a museum that honors the millions of African American men and women who built our national heritage, especially when it comes to faith, culture, and the unbreakable American spirit. I know President Obama was here for the museum's opening last fall, and I'm honored to be the second sitting president to visit this great museum. Etched in the hall that we passed today is a quote from Spotswood Rice, a runaway slave who joined the Union Army. He believed that his fellow African Americans always looked to the United States as the promised land of universal freedom. Today and every day of my presidency, I pledge to do everything I can to continue that promise of freedom for African Americans and for every American. So important. Nothing more important.
So important. Nothing more important. That was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, he's on record saying that, right? Now he's saying what? It's out of control. It's out of control. Oh, Trump blasts out of control museums for teaching how bad slavery was in a wild rant. I mean, I don't know if he's snorting leftover residue coke that Hunter Biden or one of them left in the White House. Maybe he's smoking that good that was left in the White House. Maybe he's, on some of that ketamine that, maybe or whatever else, Adderall, I don't know, whatever Musk was Elon was on. But apparently he done did a 360. But what does the Lord say, man? You can't trust your enemy. President Donald Trump ranted on Truth Social that teaching about America's history of slavery is unacceptable. Did you hear that? Teaching about America's history of slavery is unacceptable. Who does that more than the Israelites? Who has been stressing the legacy of history and as it pertains to prophecy more than us? Nobody. Nobody. They ain't talking, I don't care, Pan-African, the Foundation of Black Americans, clearly not the Aboriginal. They ain't teaching. They saying we was already here and slavery was happening in reverse. Nobody talks about America's history with slavery more than the Israelites. And what's that letting us know? That this type of speech, if continued, will soon be considered or deemed unacceptable, even in public arenas and circles. This could be a means, if it gets put into any particular type of law or some little twist of law, to say now you can't speak about certain things that's considered sedition against America. You could be detained, deported. You could be thrown into a camp. I mean, who knows where they can go with this? He's already starting to create the narrative of destroying history legacy. But hey, look, the white man's been doing this. Been doing this. Remember that in Maccabees? Trying to destroy the history. Trying to destroy any semblance of us being able to have something to draw back on when it comes down to us remembering who we are, right? First Maccabees 1, let's start at verse, read 41 down. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that also be one people, everyone should leave his law. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. So that was part of the agenda for the Greek rule. Consent to the ways of the Greeks, follow after their practices, their ways, their customs, sacrifice unrighteous things, sacrifice idols, and profane the Sabbath. The high holy day of the Lord, the Sabbath day, was to be profaned and not to be kept in ordinance with the laws of God. Verse 44, for the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and the festival days and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. This is all that was going on, and this is part of the commandment and the ordinance. Follow after these things or face death. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. So that clearly happened. To this day, our people don't remember the laws and the commandments. We don't understand and know why these statutes were so important for us to maintain our relationship with our power. They know that. Our enemies know that. This is why they put us in positions to make sure that we profane the laws of the Most High, that we disannul and we disregard the Bible, right? They know, they give us and feed us all manners of distraction, disinformation, lies, historical fallacies, everything else, right? And next thing you know, we start following after lies more than we do the truth. Because the end result is forget the law and forget them ordinances that you came up with. You a nigger, you a blood, you a crip, you a essay, whatever the case may be now, you know, you a hot girl summer, whatever the damn term, that's what they want everybody doing it. Okay. Let's drop down. Let's see right here. It says, now the 15th day of the month Castle on the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded idol altars through the temples, throughout the cities of Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. And whosoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if they or any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. So this is the first efforts of them destroying history, destroying our papyrus, our ways and customs. They said, if you find the books of the law, anybody that was found with the books, destroy it, rip it up, burn it with fire. And if you got found with the book, you was getting put to death. So here they are trying to redirect and reorchestrate history again, where he's saying, if you're talking about your past and you're using that book to do so, that's unacceptable. And it's out of control. What's out of control? Are people waking up? Blacks and Native Americans and Hispanics coming back, regaining our heritage? Hey, look, the scriptures told us that's what we're supposed to do anyway. This is what they don't want. Jeremiah 6:16. Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths. Where's the good way and walk therein? Yeah. We're supposed to be seeking out the past, the history, asking which way is the right way that we should go and walk therein. And ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. So there's going to be stiff-necked, hard-head of our people going to say, we ain't doing that. I like how things are. I don't mind being ignorant. I love killing my people in the streets. I love getting high. I love going out here and committing adultery and fornication. I love, wilding out here in these streets and profaning the Sabbath and defiling my temple, eating swine and unclean foods and, popping pills, getting high. I want that. And even on a deeper level, even within the Israelite community, you've got people and within our community who don't want elder leadership, don't want a structure and an order to where they're subjected to somebody of age or somebody that has more experience in them. It's YNs in Israel. They don't want no elder leadership. Like the Lord said, man, ask the old pastor where's a good way and walk there in. No, we ain't doing that, man. That's the old way, man. You old niggas, that's the way you old jakes used to do stuff, man. It's a new way. We doing that. Oh, okay. Y'all go ahead. And then when you get in the twist and everything's looking crazy in the community, where's the elders at? The elders been sitting back saying you should have listened. You should have came and sought out. And some brothers and some camps do got elders, and shout out to them and brothers that's trying and have some counsel and some guidance with them. But there's a contingency that are going rogue out there, and things ain't always as they seem. As they say, man, heavy is the head that wears the crown, man. But this is why the Lord said we're commanded to go out and we got to seek out old ways. We got to seek that history. Job 8:8 tells us that, right? Romans 15:4 says the things that were done aforetime before our learning. He's trying to destroy that. The museums throughout Washington, but all over the country are essentially. He's saying so. Not only the museums in Washington, all over the country. That's pushing any information regarding the history of slavery, how bad it was, and the teaching of it is unacceptable. So he's saying throughout the country, man, we got to stop this. The last remaining segment of quote, they already were getting rid of the critical race theory where they were, giving and showing more exploitations to the atrocities and the wickedness that the so-called white man did. They didn't want that out. So they stopped it in various school systems. Florida in particular and others. No, we're not allowing critical race theory. We're not going to start teaching race-based history and politics. You did it. You established a whole country and world domination doing it with white supremacy. But as soon as somebody says, hey, this is how they did it, that ain't right. Hey, we're not going to talk about that. Leave that alone. Right? The Smithsonian is out of control, he says, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Nothing but success, nothing but brightness, nothing but the future, claimed Trump. The Smithsonian's Museum of African American History walks through the struggles of those who were kidnapped and brought to the United States to work as slaves. However, as one ascends the floors, the exhibits hold up the abolitionist movement, the successes of civil rights, and celebrate those who continue to fight for equal rights. There you go. That's just what the brother said, how it's structured. At the bottom floor, it starts off with, slavery, this, that, and the third. They show the slave ships. He said they got some real, graphic, brutal pictures of, some of the tortures that, our brothers and sisters went through. Enough to where it affected his spirit, man. He said he was vexed being in there. But Trump saying, hey, that's out of control. You shouldn't even be talking about it. Look at this. White House says slavery is being taught wrong and should not be so negative. Oh, we're tripping. We're supposed to have a better and a brighter and a more, positive outlook on this thing, man. We gotta stop this. Okay, wrong. It says, speaking of Newsmax, Halligan says she had written to the Smithsonian, because most of this is still kind of repeat of the last article, but it says, speaking of Newsmax, Halligan says she had written to the Smithsonian asking for details about the exhibits to try and find where the museum group, quote, went wrong, adding museums that are over 70% funded by the federal government shouldn't be laboratories for political experiments. Referring to slavery, Halligan added, it's not about whitewashing, it's about full context. So while slavery is obviously a horrible aspect of our nation's history, you can't really talk about slavery honestly unless you also talk about hope and progress. And I think we need to be focusing on the progress that we've made then, and we need to stop focusing so much on the lack of progress. See, that's a white man for you, man. They always want to talk about, it ain't about where you started, is where you're at right now. We're still at the bottom of the totem pole. Do you know that they did a study, man? They said in order to close the wealth gap between black and whites, it would take over 200 years to be on equal ground with them based upon wealth. Over 200 years it would take for us to catch up. That means the white man can stop, don't have to make another dime collectively as a nation. They could stop right now and it would take us 200 years to catch up to them. And they said that's progress, right? Jailhouses and prisons are packed with our people. Racially profiled, locked up political prisoners, the whole that's progress. I mean, they're basically saying at least be balanced. They love to run out here and talk about, we fought a war to end slavery. Get the F out of here. As much as you ask the brothers and sisters, man, that came up out of I believe it was out of World War I in Natchez, Mississippi, where they had the first concentration camp where they killed and destroyed our people over in Natchez, Mississippi. Ask them if that helped them out after they went and fought in the wars. Did that help them? Y'all know about that? Remember that? The Devil's Punch Bowl? The Devil's Punch Bowl. Let's see what they say. Oh, the Devil's Punch Bowl was a refugee camp created in Natchez, Mississippi after the American Civil War in an attempt to address a huge influx of self-emancipated enslaved persons. A number of compounding issues such as poor administration and substandard sanitation led to a large number of deaths. The exact number of deaths is unknown and often disputed, estimated ranges from 2,000 to 20,000. That's just a damn Wikipedia article. But there's so much history regarding that alone. And they want to talk about how much it was so great that we helped fight to end slavery. Get out of here, man. You wanted to. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Y'all know what the real deal is, man. These damn devils, man, they want to sit back and say, well, don't talk about the bad, talk about the good stuff we did to you too, boy. Like, yeah, how about Dred Scott and Jim Crow and Yeah, remember that sharecropping? We got you off the plantation, then we made you sharecroppers. Made you work for your land, and then gave everything back to us anyway. Oh, let's talk about all the damn peace treaties that you broke with the Native Americans and stole and robbed and killed them for their lands. I mean, this man knows no ends. Can't tell the truth for if it saved his life, man. Unbelievable. Shouldn't be so negative. I mean, how else are we supposed to receive that information, man? There is no positive outlook. Then you can see the lynchings, the hangings, the burnings, the castrations of our people, man, the raping of our women. I mean, what are we talking about here? The quartering of our men, you know, being tied up to horses and them dashing out and ripping bodies apart, man, slaying pregnant women, stomping on baby fetuses. We're supposed to think that there's some bright outlook in that. The sister sent me a video earlier about the 11 companies that profiteered off of slavery. Banks. JP Morgan Chase among them, Citibank, all of them profiteered off of the backs of slaves. And they said, don't be so negative. That black outrage, man, is dangerous. You guys need to calm down. Really? Okay, there you go again.
President Trump says he has instructed his lawyers to scour through America's museums to rid them of exhibits he considers woke, specifically citing exhibits on slavery. President Trump targeted the Smithsonian museums, saying they are, quote, out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been.
We just seen a video of him in 2017 saying how great it was. How he's got to go back. Is it safe to call him the devil now? Did he deceive? Did he lie? I mean, before you little sensitive Negroes at your ears, he said he called him a devil. That ain't right. The Israelites see me a hate group. No, he's a deceiver. Did he not just lie? Did he not just deceive everybody? In 2017, he said how great the museum was. Saluted all of the fallen ancestors, man. And now all of a sudden it's too woke. It's out of control. All this talk about how bad slavery. Why didn't he have them same feelings 8 years ago?
Back in March, the president signed an executive order directing the Smithsonian Institution, which runs more than 20 museums, and removed the Trump in an exhibit on presidential impeachments in the Museum of American History. Mentions of Trump's impeachments were later restored, although with changes.
Let's see, we're gonna move on from that one, right? Okay. Now look at this. And many of y'all probably already put these two together. How much it costs memorials and museums, nobody's telling them stop talking about that. Oh, how come you ain't talking about how they got quote unquote liberated after World War II and America and Russia helped you get liberated? And why are they not always emphasizing about that? Huh? But no, they still getting paid billions of dollars every year, getting restitution. They constantly, you got to muzzle your mouth, put the tape over your lips. You can't say nothing. Hey, we already know that there's a double standard, and that is completely wicked. That they telling us, and he's going out here sanitizing all of the damn Black History museums, saying you're talking too much about slavery and how bad it was. And how come, and you're ungrateful niggas, we helped you. How come we don't want to talk about the good stuff we did for you? Huh? You just want to keep it negative? Well, then we'll shut everything down. Meanwhile, the how much it costs memorials and museums are thriving. They've got one in damn near every country, A to Z. You see here? A through D, U through Z. Every country has a memorial or a museum in regards to the Revelation 2 and 9 and Revelation 3 and 9, GMO small half mutants, man. That you will not forget, whether that's all factual or not. There's discussions about how some lies are being told about numbers, pictures that were taken that ain't authentic. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on regarding their quote unquote how much it cost. But look at here. Important Memorial Museum size. Auschwitz Birkenau Memorial Museum in Poland. They got one in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Budapest, Hungary, they got one. Austria, they got one. Germany, they got one. I mean, and these are all areas where they were being, quote unquote, oppressed and being gassed in the whole nine, right? So no different than here. We're here in Americas, and we're talking about what these museums are remembrances of what our people went through and our curses, and helping us substantiate our point according to the scriptures. And they're saying, get rid of that. They're getting too woke. We got to twist it a little bit. We got to say it wasn't that bad, right? Look, museums in the United States include the Illinois How Much It Costs Museum and Education Center, and numerous others. They got them in Israel, Europe. Look, even in Fukuyama, Japan, and the Holocaust Museum in Curitiba, Brazil. I mean, they make sure everybody in the world knows what happened to them. You go in Europe, and there's some places, man, where they don't teach about the slave trade and history over here, man. I've seen videos of people over there, like in London, England. They got hip to that a little later, but I don't believe that it's taught as a curriculum over there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Rosemary on here? Joshua, y'all on here? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is American slavery taught as curriculum over there? Because I've seen some who said that it wasn't. Even in Africa, some places, they don't teach it as curriculum because it's not, quote unquote, their history. Right? But we're not allowed to forget them. That's not out of control. Here you go again.
Faith leaders, entrepreneurs, opportunities to honor African American heroes, faith leaders, entrepreneurs, and the many others who changed the course of our nation. We are blessed by the lives and examples of those who have made this nation a beacon of freedom, talent, and unbreakable American spirit.
I'm about to throw up, man. I mean, how much lies can you take, man? How dishonest can you take with him, opening his mouth like a damn trout, trying to stress words, and you sit back saying, you don't believe nothing you're saying. This is all political theater. We see through his actions now. He's running rampant, sending out his lawyers and task force trying to take down Black History museums. I've had enough of him. Had enough. I'm sure y'all have too, right? It's unbelievable, man. The realities that we're in right now is unprecedented. The things that we have to see that, history is being taught wrong. It's too woke. Teaching about slavery now is out of control. Needs to be stopped. You know who the target audience is with that. Like I said, nobody teaching more about slavery, history, and those aspects of our legacy than the Israelites. So put two and two together, man. They ramping up to try to shut this word down eventually, right? So with that being understood, man, y'all remember, go back, read Psalms 103 again. Always remember that the Most High is going to always deliver us and have our back when it's all said and done. We got to get through these flames, get through these fires, brush off all of the extras, man, block out the noise, stay focused. Always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments. And you already know, man, don't shoot your messenger. How about that, man? Y'all be well, man. Bless about to everybody. If it's already ended for you, prayerfully you had a blessed Sabbath. And Lord willing, catch you on the next go round. All right. Shabbat shalom.